Yes, Hare Krishna everyone, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for joining.
Right, Mr. Mata.
I'll just check, Prabhuji, whether it is working or not. I'm really not sure. Please give me a minute. I think it hasn't started yet. I have to check online. Let me take. Yes, okay. Sure. Please let me know if if you are able to view my screen. I'll try to record parallelly because I'm really not sure if it has gone live or not. We'll start with the prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमाप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्री हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन दंडवत प्रणाम। Actually, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Mother Dhanavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So last week we did not complete the fourth chapter. We had stopped with the exercise, right? There was an activity on Tadvidhi Pranipatena. We were on the chapter 4, isn't it? That was verse number 4.34. So today we'll continue after that, and as soon as that chapter is completed, we will also start with the fifth chapter so that at least we can start with one or two verses wherein we'll be covering a small activity as well. So we'll start with verse number 35. I request everyone to please unmute everyone. Yeah. Okay. So we had covered up to verse number 34. So what is verse number 34? What does it talk about? Chapter 4, verse number 34. You can mention it in your own words. That's okay. Verse number 34. We can also go through the book.
qualification of a disabled and
Very good. Yes, Prabhuji.
hmm.
What else? And how, yeah, the qualifications of a disciple, what are the qualifications? He will Tadvidhi pranipatena. It's not, pranipatena, pariprashnena. It is not just any kind of inquiry, prashnena, but it is related to the, those are the spiritual inquiries, right? Nothing related to the material world, but but the inquiries, the one which really help us in our advancement in Krishna consciousness. So that is what we had seen, right? And Updekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. They are always in a bona fide disciplic succession, our bona fide spiritual masters. Not only that, tattvadarshina, they have also, they are self-realized souls, right? They have seen the absolute truth. They know about it. So this is what we have covered, and which is the parampara that we follow. Please put in the chat. Please don't speak out. Please put in the chat. Which is the parampara that we follow? Please mention in the chat. Please mention in the chat, Prabhuji. Yes, please, everyone. I want to see the answers. Yes. Yes. That's right. Yes, Archana Mataji, Sumit Prabhuji, Jia Mataji, and Jivon Krishna Prabhuji, even you have mentioned that. Yes. Yes, very good. Thank you. Yes, Naveen Sundar Prabhuji. So that's Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Yes, Murali Chaitanya Prabhuji. That's right. So now we'll start with the verse number 35. So basically, it helps us to understand that we need the spiritual master. When we take the shelter of the spiritual master, they are the ones who are going to help us understand what is the transcendental knowledge. And once we understand the transcendental knowledge, so what is the transcendental knowledge? So as a part of transcendental knowledge, what do you feel? What is transcendental knowledge? We will take points, no worries. Please raise your hand or please put in the chat. So what is the transcendental knowledge? It is something like, what is our relation with the Lord? Who am I? So what is the transcendental knowledge? You can share any of the points. Yeah.
It's like previously told that who I am, why I am suffering from this material world.
We understand that. Yes, very good, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's
How
right. Yeah, what is the difference? Who am I? Like, I am not this body, but the material, but the spirit soul, right?
Spiritual soul.
And we are not, yes, we are part and parcel of Lord Shri Krishna. Very good, that's right. Who is the master? Lord Shri Krishna is the master. We are conditioned living entities. He is eternal, right? He always appears in Sachidananda form, Sachidananda Vigraha, and his form is always eternal. He is Sachidananda Vigraha, right? So all these details we have seen. So the knowledge about Lord Shri Krishna, that is basically the transcendental knowledge, which really helps us to elevate ourselves and start with our devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna. So this we have seen. Now, who is going to tell us? Like, we have also seen the various sacrifices, right? You remember? We have seen the what were the various sacrifices, because why did we see this? What is the purpose of the sacrifices or the various performing the various kind of yagyas? Okay, what are the yagyas that we covered? Which are the different sacrifices? We can, please share. Yes, Naveen Sundar Prabhuji, that's right. Yeah, so which are the various sacrifices we covered in the last class? We covered a few of them, right? Okay, so for the brahmachari, what is the sacrifice? Yes, we had covered, right? What do they do? Shravanam and Kirtan, and they control their senses, right? For a grihastha, it is regulated family life. And there is one more, which we are supposed to do. Out of 4 ashramas, it is the grihasthas. What do? They do charity, right? That is also one of the sacrifice we covered. Then yogis, they do the breath control, they do the austerities, they perform several austerities and the breath control, because with respect to their different goals, like if they want to have some mysticism, right? Mystic practices, they carry out mystic practices to get some siddhis, right? And as a part of pranayam, they will also undergo breath control if they are doing that, right? Patanjali, it explains that. And the others are tapomaya yagya, sacrificing of our material objects. Also, we have seen that dravyamaya yagya, swadhyay, right? Swadhyay also we have seen. What is swadhyay? Swa adhyan. What is that? So Swadhyay is?
Self-reading.
Self-study.
Yes, Naveen Prabhuji, thank you. Yes, that's right. Yes, very good. Yeah. So these are the various types of sacrifices. Now, who is going to help me understand which is the kind of sacrifice I will be doing? Because I have to do it based on my guna, right? So who helps us with that? It is our guru, right? That is why we want guru. That is why we take the shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Tad vidhi pranipatena. So, and these sacrifices, they ultimately help us for our purification. So this we have seen. So now once we have taken the shelter of Lord of our bona fide spiritual master, see, this is the aim of the sacrifices we had covered, right? To control the senses, to get freedom from the sinful reaction. So ultimately it is purification, and it helps us in understand to gain the transcendental knowledge and develop devotional service. How will I gain the transcendental knowledge? Once I will keep on elevating in my knowledge, in my with respect to my purification, I will also be advancing, right? Then only I'll be advancing. Then only I will be able to understand that particular transcendental knowledge. And once we understand, okay, we understand what is the transcendental knowledge now. But how do I apply it in my life? So that is why the Guru helps us in implementing, in practicing it. Yeah, so this we have seen. Yeah, so what are the results and glories of jnana now? So once we understand what are the results, if we apply it in our life, we have to practice it, right? We just don't have to understand, but it is the practice that really helps us in attaining purification. So would someone like to volunteer to read this, please?
Yes, Mataji, shall I?
Yes, Archana Mataji, please read.
यज्ञाताना पुनर्मोहमेवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतानि शेषानि द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, they are mind.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So, in case if we go with respect to verse number 35, it helps us to understand that when we understand the jnana, so the first thing we will understand as a part of transcendental knowledge is that all of us are part and parcel of the Lord. Mame vamsho jeev loke. So when we say we all of us are part and parcel of the Lord, it means that all the living entities, not only the human species, right? It is with respect to all the species. So we will understand they are part and parcel of the Lord. They are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And they are also eternal, that they are mine. And when a person sees this, there will be universal brotherhood, right? Because obviously, when we see another person also being a part and parcel of the Lord, we will understand that we also share a bond, right? There is a connection because we are also eternally fragmental part and parcel of the Lord. Mame vamsho jeev loke, isn't it? So that is why once we understand this jnana, the result is first is there will be brotherhood. Universal brotherhood will be there. There will be peace and harmony, and you will never fall again into such illusions, right? Because it is Maya. So there is, we understand what is Maya. Maya is Lord Krishna's external energy that is working under Lord Krishna's direction. So what is that? Devi Hesha Gunmai Mam Maya Durataya. Isn't it so? Devi Hesha Gunmai Mam Maya Durataya. So it is working under the direction of the Lord, and it is very difficult to overcome it. So how is it possible to overcome Maya? If it is so difficult, how is it possible for us to overcome Maya? Please raise your
Mama
hands and
je
share your
Bhagavan ke
Chanting,
Maya
chanting.
Chanting and
by
satsang.
chanting Hari Bol. Yes, yes, very good. Yes.
Satsang
Which are
with
the other ways?
devotees, Sangha Mataji.
Association. Very good, Mataji. Yes. Devotees association. What else? Very nice. Very good.
Serving
So,
certain Lord.
Surrender to Krishna. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Yes, Naveen Prabhuji, very good. Yes, so we understand. Otherwise, it is not possible. And which are the other ways of by taking shelter of
Thereof.
Lord Krishna and the
Guru
shelter
Maharaj,
of
Guru
bona
Maharaj,
fide spiritual
Gurudev.
master. Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Guru.
So yeah, shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Yeah. So the sense of an existence separate from Krishna is called Maya. Ma is not and Ya is this. So anything that really, anything, or it could be at a material level. I mean, it could be at a gross level or at a subtle level. Anything, whatever gives us this feeling or anything that separates us from Krishna, that is called Maya. So, from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, we understand Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhikara, Yaha Krishna Taha Nahi, Maya Ra Adhikara. So, Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be any darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion. So, illusion is what? It is the influence of external energy, Maya. So it will immediately vanish because obviously we understand when the sun is there, darkness cannot be there, right? Similarly, Lord Shri Krishna, he is the sunshine. As soon as he is there, the entire ignorance is destroyed. It is gone. It is vanished. Yeah. So yes. So in addition to what we have seen, which are the various ways of, uh, we have seen the various ways, right? um, of going away or getting away from being trapped into Maya, right? There are five ways that were mentioned to Uddhava, I believe, from Lord Shri Krishna. Yes, this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It helps us to understand which are the five ways which can help us to conquer the Maya, conquer illusory energy. So, simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, the fragrant oils, clothes, and the ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. So this helps us to understand like how is it possible? Because when we say when we take shelter of Lord Shri Krishna or the spiritual master, right? It is possible to easily overcome Maya. So this helps us to understand how Tayopabhokta Sragandha Vaso Alankar Charchitaha Uchishta Bhojino Dasas Tava Mayam Jayemihi. So how is it possible? Jayem is victory. So how is it possible? If we can use the garlands that are offered to the Lord, sometimes we receive them, right? We get it from the temple. We also receive the fragrant oils, right? The one that is offered during the Arati in the morning, isn't it? The receive the Narsimhadev Aarti oil, isn't it? We apply it, fragrant oils, and then we sometimes from the temple only the devotees, Matajis, Prabhujis, they usually receive the clothes that have been honored. I mean, these are the clothes that have been worn by the deities, they have been honored. So these are honored clothes. Similarly, the ornaments, the jewelry that they have honored. So in case if we receive them, we should always respect them and we can also use them because they really help us. The most important, as we understand, we always take the remnants of Lord Shri Krishna's, isn't it? Mahaprasadam. So eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. So this way we understand that when we take the shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, they help us to understand the transcendental knowledge. They also help us with how to apply it in our life, isn't it? We have seen what kind of sacrifices to do everything, and which is the transcendental knowledge that we are part and parcel of Lord, and we are always eternal servant of Lord Sri Krishna. So, what is the constitutional position of the person of the jiva? What is the constitutional position of the jiva? Okay, so we'll
Servant of
cover
the
that.
Lord.
Jiva
Jiva
Yes,
Sarupai Krishna
Yada.
Nitya Dasa.
yes, exactly. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jivira Sarupai Krishnera Nitya Dasa. So that is our constitutional position to be eternal servant of the Lord and to always render devotional service to the Lord. So that is what is our constitutional position. And in that position only we will always be happy. So once we have seen this, right? So that as soon as we take the shelter, we are away from the illusion, isn't it? We will never fall again into the illusion. Why? Because we now understand the knowledge that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and every living being is part and parcel of the Lord. We are trying to implement it in our real life. It is not that we just know it theoretically, no, but when we apply it in our life, that is the realized knowledge, right? So once we come out of it, we will never fall into illusion. And not only that, we also get free from all the reactions. Even if you are BG 4.36, api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittamah sarvam jnana plaveneva vijrinam santarishyasi. So I'm just opening BG 4.36. Yeah, so it says, uh, Jnana Plavena, right? Jnana Plavena is the boat of transcendental knowledge. So even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. So, why is it known as the ocean of miseries, this material world? Why is it known as the ocean of miseries?
Because Mataji, it is dukha. It is said it is dukhale and ashashvatam.
Very
It
good.
is
Yes, Mataji.
ever changing, always causing distress.
Yes, it is always causing distress. Very good. Yes, Mataji. What else?
Janma
Which are the
Mrityu
other
Jara
miseries
Vyadhi.
we can talk about? Yes, exactly. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. It will always be there, isn't it? It is, as Mataji said, it is Dukkhalem or Shashwatam. As Prabhuji mentioned, like all the miseries will be there, right? Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. It will anyways be there. What are the three kaleshas which a person is always going to have in this material world? Which are the three kaleshas?
Adhi
अधिक
bhautik,
वय
adhi daivik,
Adhyavik, Adi.
आध्यात्मिक
adhyat.
Adhyatmic, very good. So these are the three kaleshas also. So every person is really going to undergo all these miseries. So, but how is it possible to cross these miseries then? It is only possible when we are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge. And who is the captain of this transcendental of this boat? It is the spiritual master, because they guide us. And when we talk about in which direction our boat is moving, so the favorable breezes, right? Those are the instructions of Lord Shri Krishna, because they guide us. I mean, the captain of the ship is bona fide spiritual master, and they guide us, isn't it, with the instructions of Lord Shri Krishna, because we move according to the breeze, and that is the favorable breeze, the way it is compared. So, yeah, when we take the shelter, what happens? Samashriताये पल्लवं प्लवं महत्पदं पुण्ययशो मुरारे भवां बुधिर्वत्स padam 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 yat vipdam na tesham. So this is a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It helps us to understand that those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation, and he is famous as Murari. And why he's known as Murari? Because he killed the demon
enemy
Mura,
of morality.
enemy of the Mura demon. Very good. So the ocean of the material world, how it appears, it appears, it becomes just like a water which is contained in the calf's hoof print, right? It is easy to cross. We can just with a small jump itself we can cross it. And their goal is Param Padam Vaikuntha, and the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. Here, what do we have? Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. So we have danger at every step in this material world, but one who really takes the shelter of the bona fide spiritual master and the Lord, for them it is very easy to cross this ocean of material miseries. Okay, please go through this verse number 36, and please tell me, why is this material world called blazing forest? Verse number 36. Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 36th verse. Please raise your hands. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry for the late entry.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. No worries, Prabhuji, please. Thank you for joining, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so why is it known as the material world is known as a blazing forest? Why? Why is it known as a blazing forest? Verse number 46. This material world is sometimes regarded as an ocean of nations and sometimes as a blazing forest. Please share your views. It is okay. We are not checking whether the answers are right or wrong. We are just sharing our views. Please share. Please raise your hand. Yes, Vinod Prabhuji. So why is it known as a blazing forest material world?
Because in
Because
this world,
we just
his
discussed.
struggles are very severe.
Struggles are very severe. Yes, Prabhuji, very true. And we have just now discussed so many miseries are there. It
At
is like
every
never
point,
ending
at every
at
step, there
every
are a lot
point.
of miseries. So,
Yes, very true. And why is it happening? There is so much of, see, there are so much of anarthas, like six anarthas, right? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mat, Matsarya. It is always there. Then we have discussed it is Dukkhalem Ashashvatam. There is so-called happiness. We feel we are happy, we are free out of the misery. But again, obviously, a person actually, as we discussed the other day earlier in the early chapters, initial chapters, that our happiness is actually, it's directly proportional to our suffering. The more we work, the more we put in effort, the more we get that feeling of happiness. But actually, that is not the real happiness. That is the so-called happiness. That is why it is directly proportional to suffering. The more we are putting in efforts, the more we are suffering, the intensity of suffering. If the intensity of the suffering is high, there will be the person is going to get more happiness out of it. There is an example of a camel. So what does a camel do? It comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. What does a camel do? He eats the thorns, right? So what does he
yes,
do?
yes.
Yeah. And it pricks him. He starts getting blood also, but still he's enjoying the taste of his own blood, and he still keeps on munching on it, isn't it? So just imagine, this is the same way the material world is a blazing forest. So there is a in Shikshashtakam, no, Sansar Davanal Lead Loka, the first one. In the Aarti, what is that? What do we say? Sansare. I have to.
Rava,
Keto
Nandini,
Darpana
We actually have
Marjanam.
to sing in the lyrics, otherwise
Cheto
I can't.
Darpana Marjanam is different, bro.
No, not
Samsara
the Shikshashtakam.
Keto
It is
Dar
the
Davanam
Aarti. Sansare
Dava
davan lidaloka
Nalidaloka
pranaya
Pranaya Karunya
ghanatvam. Thank you, Prabhuji. I have to sing the verse. Yeah. Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so basically, if I have to, I mean, we have to get the lyrics, we have to sing it. It's very beautiful. So, what do we have? Sansar Davanal lead loka. So, the Sansar is a Davanal. How is it possible? That is, it is blazing fire. And how is it possible to extinguish it? How will it get extinguished? Okay, how does it happen? According to Srimad Bhagavatam, if there are so many bamboos, they get because of the winds, the dry bamboos, they usually collide with each other, and there is because of the friction, there is a fire, it gets lightened up, and ultimately there is a wildfire that gets spread out in the entire forest. Now, no one is causing this fire. Similarly, for us also, no one is causing the miseries, but we understand it is going to happen ultimately in this material world. That is why it is known as a blazing forest. And now, how is it possible to extinguish the fire? What happens when the rain when the rains pour? Then only it is possible to get rid of this wildfire, isn't it? In the forest. Similarly, pranaya, karunya ghana
Else,
ghanatvam.
otherwise, practically, we may have to
So,
shower water
so
to extinguish the fire.
yeah, so similarly, what happens? Tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam karuna. It is the karuna only by the mercy of the spiritual master, this blazing fire of material existence can be extinguished. So this is the purpose. And not only that, there is another analogy in this verse which talks about the struggling swimmer. Even if a swimmer is an expert, if he is a gold medalist, it is not possible for a swimmer to cross the complete ocean by his own efforts, right? He cannot cross the Indian Ocean, isn't it? All by himself. He would really need some kind of uh,
Support.
support, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if he is the greatest savior, he would need somebody has to come and lift the struggling swimmer from the ocean. So thus we understand the boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time it is most sublime. Yeah. Would someone like to volunteer to read this, please?
I'll read
Yes,
Mataji.
Harshita Mataji. Yes, Harshita Mataji. Please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the ocean, however expert a swimmer one may be, the struggle for existence is very severe. If someone comes forward and lifts the struggling swimmer from the ocean, he is the greatest savior. 4.36 purport. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So thus we understand that it is not possible. It is only possible by the somebody has to come and help us out. Someone has to become our savior, and that is our Guru, Guru Sadhu Shastra. So, verse number 37, when we move on to this, now this helps us to understand uh, what did we see now? We have seen that we come out of the illusion, right? Not only that, see, we are talking about the glories. What are the glories of transcendental knowledge? So, what did we see? In the first number 35, we have seen a person will never fall again into such illusion. Isn't it? Verse number 35. Verse number 38 is helping us to understand what will happen. A person will be able to cross this ocean of miseries, isn't it? And then verse number 37 is helping us to understand that just like a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all the reactions to material activities. So it will burn up all the reactions. Now, verse number 4.37. यथेधांसि संसिधो अग्नि भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. So it is going to burn to ashes all, it will burn all the reactions to the material activities. Now, when we talk about the reaction, so what does it mean? See, so this fire, will it burn only the impious activities? Verse number 37, what does it say? Please read this. Yes, Archana Mataji, please read this.
This fire not only burns up all reactions to impious activities, but also all reactions to pious activities, turning them to ashes. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So what do we see? This fire, it doesn't burn only the reaction to the impious activities, not only the papa, right? But also the punyas. Now, why is it so? We need to do the punya, right? But why? I mean, we are doing the punya, but why is it so that all the reaction to pious activities are also turned to ashes by devotional service? Please raise your hand. Yes, yes, that's right, Prabhuji. Naveen Prabhuji, it's use own blood and feels enjoyment. Yeah, so this fire not only burns. Yes, please, you can share your opinion, views. Why do you feel why the devotional service also burns up the reaction to the pious activities? Please
Because
raise your hand.
Mataji, because
Yes,
Mataji, we
Mataji.
Nishkam Karam we have heard, right? There is Karam, Akaram, and Vikaram. So when you do devotional service, you have to uplift yourself from the pious activities and from the reactions of both. You have to uplift yourself from both the good and bad results at the end of the day. So is that
Okay.
the analogy, Mataji, over here?
How do you elevate yourself? How do you elevate? I mean, what is the I mean, why do we really have to say that okay, we have to burn up all the reaction to the pious activities also? What is the reason? What is the main reason?
To be free
Okay,
Because
from the karma
if
bandhan.
Karam,
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't want any kind of bondage. No, no, no papa, no punya. Because if a person is doing pious activities, what is happening? A person will ultimately, he can attain the heavenly planets.
Sorry.
Again, he has to come back. Once it gets exhausted, the entire the quota for the entire pious activities. Again, he has to come back, isn't it? So this cycle will continue. And that is why to get rid of this entire bondage, get rid of this cycle, even the pious activities. So what devotional service does, it is above that, as Harshita Mataji mentioned. We have to elevate ourselves, right? We have to go beyond pious and impious. So what we can do, how we can do is, it is very difficult, right? To remember Krishna all the time in the entire day. So, like for example, If we are drinking water, do we always remember the Lord? No, it is not possible.
No.
If we have offered, we remember, but otherwise, is it possible 24 hours? We understand 2 hours we are doing the chanting. If we are doing Swadhyay, then we are understanding, we are remembering the Lord. When we are attending our class, then we are remembering the Lord. When we are doing our Swadhyay, we are remembering. When we are cooking, if we are preparing the bhoga for the Lord, we are remembering the Lord. But otherwise, so the best thing what we can do is, even in our activities, how to get rid of such kind of reactions, because there are so many transactions also happening, monetary transactions are also happening, not only in terms of monetary transactions, it could be in terms of material things also. So what do? We just remember Krishna, we remember Lord Krishna when we give that particular thing. Like, for example, if I have to pay the salary to somebody, I can say Shri Krishna Arpana Mastu Om Tat Sat. So that it, because otherwise, if the person is buying anything from that money, if it is good, it's fine, because ultimately that will be the punya thing, or it's okay. The point is, if there is some negative activity being happening by that amount, we will also get that karma. Okay. So how to get rid of that particular karma? The point is, when we are giving it to somebody, at least from our end, we can remember the Lord and we can say Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Om Tat Sat. We are remembering the Lord and we are offering it. So we are honoring, we are at least remembering the Lord, because otherwise it is not possible to remember the Lord all the time, isn't it? We cannot ensure that the entire activity is a karma, isn't it? So that is the reason. So how this devotional service, and this way what we are doing, actually we are doing a karma only, because we are remembering the Lord. From our end, we are not binding ourselves. But otherwise, if we say, even with our thoughts, there are so many activities keep happening. We cannot say, okay, we won't do any activity. That is also not possible. So we have to be cautious also, and at the same time, we have to ensure that we are doing devotional service. So these are the various ways we can ensure how to conduct the devotional service, right? Yukta Vairagya. So we'll move further. Yeah, so verse number 4.38. In this world, Pavitram, this is Pavitram, this Gyan, Pavitram idam uttamam. So nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kale natmani vindati. So this is verse number 38. It says Kalen, in course of time. Atmani is in himself, Vindati enjoys. In this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. It is so pure. Such knowledge is a mature fruit of all mysticism. And one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. So they are just like the Atmaramascha, right? Atmaramascha Munayo, Atmaram, we have seen the verse, right? Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Kurvanti Ahetukim Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Guno Hari. So what we are stating here is that such people, they are always self-satisfied. Not only that, they are just like the Paramhamsas. And this knowledge is so sublime and pure that it is just like a ripened fruit. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. And what kind of a fruit is it is compared with? The mango fruit, you can say, which doesn't have a seed and which doesn't have a skin. So it is seedless and it is skinless. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita, the transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, it is the mature fruit of all mysticism. So it is the seed and it is the fruit of all devotional service. And one who has become accomplished in the practice, he enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. Yeah. So this verse also helps us to understand that if we are ignorant, ignorance, it is the cause of our bondage, and knowledge is the cause of our liberation. So as we have discussed just now, so that how it is possible to be liberated. Only by the transcendental knowledge we'll be able to liberate ourselves. And when we talk about liberation, basically here we are talking about the understanding our constitutional position and serving the Lord eternally. That is what our motive is, right? So, okay, we will see that this knowledge is the mature fruit of devotional service. Would someone like to volunteer to read this, please? Please read.
Ignor-
Uh,
Ignorance
le-
is the
Krishna.
Mataji, please, I would like to request some new people.
Hare Krishna
Please raise
Mataji,
your
shall I read?
hands. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Ignorance is the cause of our bondage, and knowledge is the cause of our liberation. This knowledge is the mature fruit of devotional service. And when one is situated in transcendental knowledge, he need not search for peace elsewhere, for he enjoys peace within himself. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So they are Atma Ramas, right? Atma Ram. They always self-satisfied. They always find peace within themselves because they are always work because they understand that the Lord, He is the cause of all causes, isn't it? Sarv Ishwara Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. So ultimately they understand, and not only that, they surrender unto the Lord. Yeah, so verse number 49 and 40, basically, if you would notice, there is a comparison between these two verses. So, what we have seen up to verse number 38, the glories and the results, right? Now, the verse number 39 and 40, it is helping us to understand who will surrender and what kind of people they take to this transcendental knowledge, and which people they do not take, who can attain the transcendental knowledge and who cannot attain. So 39th verse is basically helping us understand people who can attain the transcendental knowledge. Yes, Mataji, Jia Mataji, would you like to read this, please? Then we will cover the details. Mataji, you are on
Mataji.
mute. Yes, Mataji.
श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रिय ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace.
Yes, Mataji, please read this also, then we will discuss. Yeah, verse number 40 as well.
Bhagavad Gita 4.40. अज्ञश्चाश्रद्धधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परो न सुखं संशयात्मना. But ignorant and faithless person who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So what do we see in verse number 49, 39? If I go to the book, the verse, it helps us to understand that such a person who can attain the transcendental knowledge, who are really faithful. So when we say faithful, basically faith is they are faithful to Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, isn't it? So that is what the understanding is. They have complete surrender. They have surrendered themselves to the Lord. And so they are dedicated to transcendental knowledge. Not only that, they have also controlled their senses. Who subdues his senses? Isn't it? We have learned earlier, right? A self-realized person, they always control their senses. So who subdues his senses is eligible. Such people are eligible to receive such knowledge. And when they achieve it, ultimately they will attain this peace, spiritual peace, which is supreme. So this helps us to understand this particular verse. And from the book it states this faith is attained by rendering devotional service unto the Lord and by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this helps us to attain. I mean, this faith, it helps us to attain the faith. And it also, what does it do in return? It cleanses the heart of all the material dirt. Cheto Darpan Marjanam, isn't it? Bhav Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So over and above this, one should control the senses, as we have seen. Such a person can easily attain the perfection without any delay. But at the same time, there are people who are basically atheist, isn't it? They are ignorant, they are faithless, and they doubt the revealed scriptures. So what do we see? They are ignorant because they do not have this knowledge. And there are different reasons why they do not have it, this knowledge, because they are not even ready to surrender, they are not ready to understand. They do not take the shelter of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, or not even of the bona fide spiritual master. So they are ignorant, they are faithless, they do not have any um, they do not believe, they do not have any surrender, they do not have any particular faith with respect to our revealed scriptures. They do not attain God consciousness. So what does this mean? It means that they fall down. This means that if we go through the verse, it helps us to understand they will never attain God consciousness. So they will fall down, and therefore because of this reason they will never be happy, neither in this world nor in the next. Because what is the reason? Why will they be never happy? Why do you feel they will never be happy? Okay, what is the kind of happiness these people are looking for? I'll rephrase my question. What is the kind of happiness they are looking for? Yes, Jia Mataji.
They're looking for happiness where in the Dukkhalayam Vashashvatam. They're looking in the
Yes, very good.
material world. So they're hoping against any hope.
Yes, Mataji, very good. That's right. So what they are doing is they are trying to fulfill their demands of the body, isn't it? Material body. So what they are doing is they are looking for their own sense gratification. And what is the actual need? How will we get the satisfaction? We can only get the satisfaction when we attain the happiness for the which is meant for the soul, isn't it? And how is it possible to attain that? When we give the higher taste. And what is the higher taste?
Chanting the holy name of the Lord,
Yes,
rendering
Mataji,
devotional
chanting.
service to the Lord.
Very good, Mataji. Very good. Very nice. So, chanting the holy name of the Lord, rendering devotional service, so performing bhakti, right? Doing the bhakti. So, bhakti unto the Lord, bhakti seva, right? Devotional service. So, that is the way. See, even it is not even Srila Prabhupada, the word devotion. It's not known as devotion. Srila Prabhupada mentions it as bhakti is mentioned as devotional service. We have to render service unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. We have to serve all the pure devotees of the Lord, isn't it? Gopi Bhartu Pad Kamlayor Das Dasa Anudasa, isn't it? That is what is mentioned. So, what we understand that we have to render service, and then only we will be able to achieve the ultimate peace. So, one should therefore follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. So, this verse number 40, if we go through this, there are categories of the people that has been mentioned. So, verse number 40, it helps us to understand there are people who have faith and who have knowledge. Okay. So, what they have mentioned here is that people either they have, there are categories. If we read this verse, no, verse number 40, please check. Yeah. So, there are people there who do not have no faith. Please read verse number 40. I'm on to verse number 40. It says that for third line, there are people who have no knowledge and they have no faith. First thing, first category of people. Okay. They have no knowledge and they have no faith. So there are still others who have faith in the scriptures, right? But they have no knowledge. And then there is another category which says they have little faith and no knowledge. They have knowledge but little faith. But still they fall down because it is like you can say what happens is they have selective faith. These people either they will have no faith, or even if they are having faith, that is selective faith, because what they will do is they will only agree to those portions of the instructions which they feel is matching or syncing with their own logic. If they say, okay, we have seen those verses, wherein the fall down happens, Vishya sangaste jayate, right? Because of this, the material fall down, basically the cycle of the material fall down, we have seen that. So people, it is very easy for others to relate to it, so they will agree to it,
doubting
isn't it?
soul.
Dhyayato Vishyan
Why
Pumsam.
question
Yes,
doubt whether there is
yes.
happiness neither in this.
Yeah. So Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa, isn't it that particular verse if we talk about? It is very easy. People will understand it because they're very easily they can relate to it. But at the same time, if they read that particular instruction of the Lord, Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru, they will not agree to it because they are not ready to bow down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, isn't it? So what they are doing is they are being very selective in their faith because of their mental speculations. That is the reason why such people are coming under the category of ignorant and faithless people. And such people, they always fall down. That is what is mentioned here, that they make no progress at all, isn't it? And that is the reason therefore, what one should do, they should always follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. Yeah. So, yes. Would someone like to read this, please? Yes, Jia Mataji. Yes, please, Mataji. Or we can take new hands. Yes, Prabhuji, what will happen to those
Yes,
who cannot
Prabhuji.
control senses but chanting Harinam? See, Prabhuji, we have seen what is happening. Cheto Darpan Marjanam. So ultimately, we understand this entire controlling the senses also is coming under the category of material contamination only, no, in a way. Because why we are not able to control senses? Because our mind is going in that particular direction, and we have to concentrate. We have to bring it back again and again. We have to bring it back, right? So what we do is we try to do the chanting. We follow the ABCD, spiritual ABCD, right? Like the association of the devotees, having the books, reading the books, doing the swadhyaya of Chaitanya Charitamrit, then we have Nectar of Devotion, isn't it? Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the books. We try to take the association of the devotees, association of the books. Then we do chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and chanting of it is only because of the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Basically, Prabhuji, you will realize when we say Cheto Darpan Marjanam Bhav Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So what is happening because of the chanting only, we are able to gradually understand and come to this level that we are able to understand this transcendental knowledge basically. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to absorb also, to understand the transcendental knowledge and absorb it. So ultimately, that we are in the process of doing it. It is happening. Yeah, and then we have the association chanting, and then we have the diet. We try to take Krishna Prasadam, right? So in different ways we are trying to do. Not only that, Prabhuji, Maya is always going to um, catch us, It is a trap. And not only that, the reason is we should always try to have the association of the devotees, the association of the pure devotees. It really helps us, That is why what do we do on every Sunday? Actually, every day we attend the Srimad Bhagavatam classes. But you would have noticed that on Sundays, especially in every ISKCON temple, there are Srimad Bhagavatam classes, and there is a feast, there is a complete temple program that is planned, so that every devotee, every single person, not only a devotee, every living entity can get a chance to associate with the pure devotees of the Lord. So these are the various ways in which we try to control our senses. And because as soon as we are away, Maya is going to catch us. So we have to be very cautious. And ultimately, these are the various ways in which will really help us to advance in Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji. Yes. Uh, I'll just check from here if. Yes, Jibon Krishna Prabhuji, would you like to read this, please? Yes, Murali Prabhuji.
Hare
Please read.
Krishna.
This is
Okay,
Mantra
yes, yes,
17.186.
yes,
Tarko
Prabhuji.
pratishta sutayo vivinna nasha vrishirasya matam na vinnam dharmasya tattam nihitam guhayam mahajanayana gata sapantha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So from here we see like which is the path that we have to take. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam, confidential, right? Unadulterated. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden. It is guhayam. Mahajano yen gatah sa panthaha. So what do we have? So it is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person who are the Mahajanas. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. So, how many Mahajanas do we have? What are the names of the Mahajanas?
12 Mahajan.
Yes, Hari Bol. Now, please name them one by one. Only one. Okay,
Bhishma.
everyone has to name one.
Bhishma.
Yes. Bhishma Dev. Yes, Prabhuji, very good. Next.
Yamraj.
Yes, Mataji, very good. Please try. Yes, very nice.
Narad Muni.
Yamraj.
Narad
Narad
Muni.
Muni. Yes, very good, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Very nice.
Prahlad Maharaj. Boli Maharaj.
Chat.
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj.
Maharaj. Yes, Prabhuji,
Lord
Prahlad
Shiva.
Maharaj. That's right. Jia
Lord
Mataji,
Shiva.
Janak Maharaj. Very
Manu.
good. Yes, Mataji, Lord Shiva. Very nice. Prahlad Maharaj. That's right, Sumit Prabhuji. Very good.
Lord
So,
Shiva.
yes, Prabhuji. Then, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu
Kapil.
Kapila Muni.
Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balirvyasakim
Janako.
Vayam.
Vyasa.
So Vayam is
Muni.
Yamraj. So if
Vyasa
yeah,
Muni.
so if we start from the first one, that is Swayambhu Narada Shambhu. So Swayambhu Brahmaji, Narad Muni, and then Shambhu is Shivji, right? Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro, four Kumaras, Kumaro Kapilo, Kapil Muni, Kapilo Manuhu, Manu, isn't it? Then we have Prahlado Janako Bhishmo. Then Balir Vyasakir Vayam. So Balir is Bali Maharaj, Vyasakir is Chukadev Goswami, and then Vayam is Yamraji. Since he was mentioning this, yeah. So these are the 12 Mahajanas, right? Yeah. So verse number 41, it helps us to understand the results of the action in full Krishna consciousness. So what will be the result? What will happen? Then Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Karmanam Jnana Sanchina Samshayam Atmavantam na Karmani Nipadanti Dhananjaya. One who acts in devotional service. So what happens? What are the results? He will renouncing the fruits of his actions. So please notice, he will renounce the fruits means he is not attached to the result of his
Right.
action, isn't it? Fruit. And whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge. He has no doubts anymore. He is situated factually in the self. So he knows what is his position. And his position is Jivira Saruphai Krishnera Nityadasa. And thus he is never bound by the reactions of work. He will never get any kind of reactions. O conqueror of riches. Please tell me who is known as Dhananjaya? Who is called as Dhananjaya here? Arjuna.
Arjun.
Very good,
Arjuna.
Mataji. Now,
Arjun.
why is he known as Dhananjaya? Why is he called as Dhananjaya? Please raise your hand. I can't make out who is answering if you don't raise your hands. Yes, Jia Mataji.
Arjuna is known as Dhananjaya because he fetched money. He fetched
Hmm.
wealth for Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Yes,
Yajna.
Mataji. For Rajasuya Yagya. Yeah, very good, Mataji. Yes, that's right. So that is why he's known as Dhananjaya, conqueror of riches. Yeah. So the conclusion is Tasmadagyan Sambhutam Hitstham Jnanansinatmanah Chitta Vainam Samshayam Yogam Atishthotishth Bharatah. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. So, there is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, which states that Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janyati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahetukam. So what happens if we do the devotional service unto the Lord? Prabhuji, this will also help in answering that controlling the senses thing. Ultimately, devotional service helps us in every way. What happens? Vasudeve Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janyati Ashu Vairagyam. So what are we going to get? Jnana and Vairagya. So if we will render devotional service unto the Lord, what are we going to get automatically? We will achieve the jnana, knowledge, and we will attain vairagya, detachment. And how this is also has been mentioned. Therefore, the Lord is saying to Arjuna, whichever doubts have been raised in your heart now, because you were ignorant, you did not know. So now you have to slash it by the weapon of knowledge. Isn't it? Armed with yoga, now Bharata stand and fight. Now again Arjuna gets confused that okay, I have understood everything, that he is understanding jnana and everything, and but what he was thinking, that working in knowledge is like something like I have to renounce my activities. But no, the Lord did not mean that. You have to work with jnana, isn't it? Carry out nishkam karma yoga, but he got confused, and that is why there is the chapter 5th that helps us to, that starts with Arjuna's doubt. So we'll move on to the 5th chapter. Yeah. So the what is the real position of the person? Uh, yes, Vinod Prabhuji, would you like to read this, please?
Hare Krishna. Real
Hare
position,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
position, understanding of one's own self or one's constitutional position, and the truth regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So our real position is Jivara Saruphai Krishnera Nitya Dasa. So this
To
is what we
understand Godhead.
covered. Yes. Please read this as well, Prabhuji.
But one who doubts the authority of Krishna falls back. One is therefore advised to study Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture under a bona fide spiritual master with service and surrender.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So that is the reason why we are advised. Otherwise, people will are going to give up their mental. They will study the. There are so many people, mental speculators and dry philosophers. Also, they keep studying out of their own mental concoctions. But the ideal way is, what is the real way? It has to be under a bona fide spiritual master who is in parampara, with service and surrender. And we have 4 authorized bona fide paramparas, right? So, do you know the names of the 4 paramparas? If you know, please raise your hand. Which are the 4 paramparas, the authorized ones?
Shri
There are 4.
Sampradaya, Mataji, you're referring to that?
Yes, Mataji, very good. Yes, Naveen
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah.
Shri
Shri
Sampradaya,
Sri
Sampradaya,
Sampradaya,
Mara
Yes,
Sampradaya,
Rudra
Brahmamadva Gaudiya
Sampradaya, Kumara
Sampradaya,
Sampradaya.
yes. Yes, Naveen Prabhuji. Naveen Prabhuji has also raised hand. Yes, please, Prabhuji.
Brahmamadva Gaudiya Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya,
Yes, Prabhuji.
and
Prabhuji, please 1 minute. Let Mona Lisa Mataji also cover one. Yes, Mona Lisa
Another is
Mataji.
Kumar Sambuddha.
Sampradaya. Yes, Mataji. Thank you. So we
Kumar
have
Sampradaya.
Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, and Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And we belong to Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We'll start with the next chapter. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Beautiful picture, no? Okay, Unit 1 Bhagavad Gita, chapters 1 to 6. Lesson 8, chapters 5, 5th chapter, verses 1 to 12. We'll only be covering first 2. Okay. Yeah, so what do we have? Yeah, so this is the breakdown of chapter 5th. So first section 5.126 will cover Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay. Which is easier than renouncing work, because there is a confusion. No, Arjuna is getting confused again. Actually, ideally, he's not getting confused. This entire Bhagavad Gita is for us only, right? Yeah, so we shouldn't think that, okay, Arjuna is in illusion. No, he is not in illusion. He has been put under illusion by, he's put under Yoga Maya, isn't it? By the Lord. Section 2, so that this Bhagavad Gita can be, this Bhagavad Gita can appear, for us. That's why. Section 2 is 5.7 to 5.12, how to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. The other sections are like 13 to 16. It will cover the platform of knowledge, like which are the 3 doers, Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. The section 4th is 17th, verse number 17 to 26. Liberation by focusing on the super soul. And the 5th one is 27-28. Liberation through Ashtanga Yoga. This will be a preview, which we'll be covering the details in the 6th chapter. And this last section is peace formula. So we know Shanti Sutra, right? So we'll be covering that 5.29. Bhoktaram Yagya Tapsa. Sarvalok Maheshwaram. So yeah, please volunteer to read this verse, please. Yes, please. Okay, let me
May I,
pick.
Mataji? Mataji, may
Mataji, yes, Naveen Prabhuji, please. Yes, Naveen Prabhuji. Naveen Sundar Prabhuji.
अर्जुनुवाच सन्न्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुनर्योगं च संशसि यश्रेययतेरेवं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्. Arjuna said, O Krishna, First of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend me work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?
Yeah, thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So what do we see here? Now, as we discussed, right? So what did Arjuna say? That you are asking me to renounce work and now you are asking me to you are recommending I have to work with devotion, right? So he's getting confused. Why is he getting confused? If we will go through verse number first, 5.1, it is mentioned in the verse itself that what Arjuna is thinking that the sannyas or the renunciation in knowledge, what he is thinking, Arjuna is thinking that it is actually it is free from all kinds of activity. So he is thinking I don't have to do any kind of activity, and he was already willing to go to the forest and to take sannyasa, right? So that is why it is mentioned, what he has to do, he has to work with devotion. Which of the two is more beneficial? So now Lord will say, the Lord will mention actually both of them are, we cannot compare and say, okay, which one is more beneficial than the other. Obviously, ultimately, it is the devotional service. But for Arjuna, renouncing is not the right activity for now, because he is not free of all the different kind of attachments. At the level which he is not free from all that. Purification is yet to happen, so that he has not elevated himself to the level of renouncing everything. So ultimately, we have to understand this. This is for us. Okay. So people, when they have Bhagavad Gita at home, people usually have a misconception that okay, the person is going to renounce everything. But no, it is the other way around. Lord Krishna is never asking Arjuna, or he's never suggesting Arjuna to go and renounce everything. No, he has to perform all the duties, keeping Lord Krishna in the being absorbed in Lord Krishna, right? Mam anusmar yuddha cha. Remember me and fight, isn't it? That is what Lord Krishna mentioned, isn't it? Yeah, I request everyone to please mark your attendance. Prabhuji has shared the link. Yeah, okay. So in the meantime, I'll continue with this one. Verse VG 5.1. Arjuna vacha sannyasam karmanam Krishna. This is, yeah, so this is the first one. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha samshash. I'm just checking. Yeah, okay. I think it got repeated. Sorry. Yeah. च संशशि यच्छ्रेह एतयोरेकं तान् मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितं. Please tell me, like, definitely sunischitam, which one of the two is more beneficial? Sannyasam karmanam, isn't it? So if we go through this, it helps us to understand. Punha yogam. Yogam is being mentioned as devotional service here. So Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce the work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Please tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial." Obviously, see, work in devotional service is better. Actually, it is the best, isn't it? It is better than dry mental speculation. The devotional service is easier than the latter because being transcendental in nature, it frees one from the reaction. We have just now seen this, right? So sukham kartum avyaya, isn't it? It is very pleasing. It is it is full of happiness. It gives us pleasure. It is so sukham kartum avyayam. So sukham. It is so pleasing, and it is transcendental. It frees a person from the reactions also. And see, the point is, if a person is really going to do some kind of dhyana, if a person is going in some kind of a dhyana, obviously, ultimately, as we just discussed, controlling the sense, is it really possible to control the senses in Kali Yuga? So, is it really possible for a person to go and meditate in the forest? Meditation is not at all possible. Even while sleeping, our mind keeps working. We keep getting so many dreams also, isn't it? So in devotional service, how is it easy? Now, please tell me, devotional service is easier than the latter. How is it easy? Devotional service?
Because Mataji, you dovetail everything unto the lotus feet of the Lord. So
Yes.
whatever you're doing, whatever you're speaking, whatever activities you're doing, you're just dovetailing it to the lotus feet of the Lord at the end of the day.
Very good, Mataji. Very nice. Yes, Mataji. That's true. So what we are doing is we are keeping Krishna in the center and we are carrying out our activities. Isn't it? Because what we are doing is, if we are preparing, if we are working also, then we are working with the mentality that, okay, I have my family who are part and parcel of the Lord, and ultimately I'm working for them. Not only that, I'm also going to utilize some amount of my Lakshmi in the service of Lord Sri Krishna, right? In carrying out Krishna consciousness activities. The second thing is, if we are cooking food at home, then we are preparing the bhoga for the Lord. When we are preparing bhoga for the Lord, we always ensure, okay, let me give this prasadam to my family so that they also get blessed, isn't it? So ultimately, Lord Krishna is in the center. Whichever activities we are carrying out, be it, outside or at even at home, the activities ultimately, if we try to dovetail them with Lord Krishna, keeping Lord Krishna in the center, then ultimately it becomes a karma only. And it is so sukham, we don't have to make any kind of extra efforts, endeavors. We don't have to meditate. We don't have to give any kind of pressure to ourselves. No extra efforts, it is so easy. We can remember the Lord. If we really wish to play some kind of music, if we want to sing, we can sing kirtans, even while working. We can just even we can play tunes. We can listen to Srimad Bhagavatam kathas, every day. So what we do is we try to dovetail Krishna consciousness in our day, everyday life, daily life, day to day life. That is the way. It's very easy, even if a kid is also taking the name, chanting the holy name of the Lord, we have seen Neha bhi kram nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So ultimately, that also is not getting um, diminished, it's getting into the account of the spiritual activity, and it is a karma only. So how easy it is. But okay, at the same time, it is difficult also, because we cannot remember the Lord the whole time. And second thing, we have to bring our mind back again and again, again and again, isn't it? While chanting. I mean, as we have discussed, out of 24 hours, for how long is it possible for us to remember? So, see how easy it is. We have so many ways, the 9 types, 9 limbs of bhakti. Navidha Bhakti, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Very easy. We can pick any of the ways, either one or all of them. It is very easy to remember the Lord, on daily basis, on not only daily, I mean, moment by moment, we are trying to do that, isn't it? So, we can try to carry out the devotional service in this way. So yeah, verse number 5.2. Would someone like to volunteer to read this, please? Yes, Harshita Mataji, please read.
Verse 5.2 Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Sanyasah karma yogasya nishreyasya karau ubhau tayastu karma sanyasat karma yogo vishishyate. The I
Thank you,
have
Mataji. Yes, please
5.2, right,
continue,
Mataji?
Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, please continue.
The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So, out of these two, work in devotional service is better than the renunciation of work. We've just seen this, I believe. Yeah, how it is possible. Yeah. Not only that, when we talk about the devotional service, as we discussed just now, so how it is satisfying the self, there is a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam which says, Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahetukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. So people who are trying to look for the material happiness, they will always be disturbed in this world, right? We have seen they will never attain peace. When we were talking about the faithless people who doubt the scriptures, isn't it? Verse number, what was the verse number? Okay, if you don't remember the verse number, we just covered in chapter number 4, isn't it? We covered two comparisons, right? Which were the comparisons? What did we see? There were two type of people which we compared, isn't it? People who can attain transcendental knowledge and people who cannot. Yeah.
40,
So one is
41.
faithful, and yes, Mataji. So one is faithful and one is faithless. People who are faithless and ignorant, they cannot attain. But those who are faithful, they always find pleasure in the self, because what they are doing is they are satisfying the Atma, Yayatma suprasidati. They are satisfying the self. Because we are spiritual in nature, and when we render devotional service unto the Lord, we feel spiritually satisfied. Okay, and what do you mean by ahetuki apratihata, unmotivated and uninterrupted service? It says, what is our parodharma? It is the supreme occupation. What is the supreme occupation? Parodharma for all humanity, to render loving devotional service unto the Lord. And such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted. So please tell me, what do you mean by unmotivated and uninterrupted?
Without taking any uh,
What is unmotivated?
any benefit
Without
from
having any
Lord.
interest for devotional activity.
No
Yes, no
selfish
material
motive.
desires, no
No
selfish
selfish
motives.
motive.
Very good. Yes, yes, no selfish motives. Very good. That is unmotivated. And uninterrupted?
Without being disturbed, continuously doing service.
It should be
Yes, yes.
continued. Yeah.
Very good. Yes, that's right. It has to be continuous. It has to be consistent. We shouldn't say, okay, today I'm going to do this chanting. Tomorrow, okay, let me just take a break for a few days. No, we cannot do so. Bhakti has to be consistent. So it has to be on continuous basis. Then only we'll be able to relish it, right? So that is what is mentioned. Like the devotional service example is Prahlad Maharaj. He was being given so many atrocities by Hiranyakashipu, his father, but he continued uninterrupted service, isn't it? Unmotivated and uninterrupted. Yeah. So let's have this activity. We have this activity now. Please read verse number 5.2 purport and verse and discuss the significant statements. Yeah. So this is the activity. How many? Okay, we have 14 participants, right? Okay, we'll make 4 groups. We can make 3 groups, I believe. Okay, so we'll make 3 groups, and yeah, and I request everyone, please do not drop down. There are 15 participants as I can see. Right now there are 14. What happened? Who dropped out? Somebody dropped off. I really don't know who has left. Okay.
I think Mataji,
Hmm.
बताता Mataji, अभी बताता
No
Mataji
worries,
जाती.
Prabhuji. We'll check later, Prabhuji. No worries. So we have 13 participants for now. Because I request everyone to please participate in these activities. It is going to affect the attendance also. It carries marks with respect to the class behavior, because in case with respect to the activity, if somebody drops off, then,
किती different दिखाऊं?
sorry, Prabhuji.
No, Mataji, continue Mataji.
Yeah. So if it happens, we really have to discuss this. Okay, so let's go through the activity. Please go through verse number 5.2 verse and the purport and discuss the significant statements. We'll make 3 groups. Let me see 3 or 4. I'm just checking. I have to stop the sharing. Just give me a minute, please. I'll make the breakout rooms. Yeah, we have okay, 14. Right. So okay, we'll make 4 groups then. Let's have the discussion. 3 to 4 participants in one room. Yeah. Please take assign 5 minutes. Let me assign 7 minutes. I hope that will help. So breakout room will close automatically after 7 minutes. So please continue and the timer will start instantly. Okay. Yeah. Please join. I can merge room 3 and 4, I believe. Let me merge them to room 4. Who has been added? Jipon Prabhuji has been added to room 4 and Madhusudan Prabhuji. Okay. Madhusudan Prabhuji, you have not joined room number 1. Please join Prabhuji. Or I'll move you to another room, is it? If you're not able to, I'll try to move you to another room, Prabhuji. Please join room 2 now. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Yeah. Shall we start with the discussion?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll share my screen. Yes, Prabhuji. So, we had 3 groups. Actually, I had merged one. So, please raise your hands. Whoever is, yes, request you to raise your hands, Prabhuji. Which group are you representing?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji,
Yes,
first
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I'm Jivan.
Okay.
First I am click on the group 3
Okay.
breakout room. But then I am moved to 4 group.
Okay. No worries, Prabhuji. That's okay. Yes, please, Prabhuji. Yeah. So please raise your hands. So Jibon Krishna Prabhuji, will you be representing group 3 or 4? I mean, you were in.
4,
I have
4.
to check. Show meeting. 4. Okay. Yes, please, Prabhuji.
In there, Harshita Mataji and Jia
Okay.
is there.
Sure. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. You can cover the points. Yes, Archana Mataji or Jibon Prabhuji, are you in the same group?
No, Mataji.
Archana Mataji has
No.
raised
I
hand.
am group 1, Mataji.
Okay, sure, Mataji. So we'll see. I mean, we'll just take the points. We will listen to Prabhuji first, Jibon Krishna Prabhuji. Then you can take the second
Archana
lead. Yes, Archana Mataji. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Jibon Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, please. Please start, Prabhuji. So what did you
Hare
discuss in
Krishna.
the Hare Krishna Prabhuji? Request everyone to please mute yourself so that Prabhuji
Dandavat to
can
all
continue.
devotee
Thank you.
Vaishnavas.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Prabhuji.
In the past sloka, 15 number chapter and one first sloka, Arjuna actually questioned Sri Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and then into 1, and then he also Bhagavan Supreme Personality of God Sri Krishna replied that that renunciation of work and work in devotion are the 2 type of work, but of the 2, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Krishna replied that. In this point, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that actually we have to realize that our constitutional situation in the material world, we are not our material body, we are the supreme soul, the part and parcel of the supreme soul, and the parcel of the supreme Lord. It means that we are not in full supreme positive of Godhead. We have to serve the Supreme Lord unless our identity is not completed.
Very good,
But
Prabhuji.
in the process, Srila Prabhupada also that mentioned that in the process that we know that our constitutional situation in the material world is not sufficient for liberation. Liberation means that what the liberation means that actually in the world, material world, all are belongs to Lord Sri Krishna, and we cannot renunciation from any fruitful activities because we have not any kind of properties. In the process, the Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, he mentioned that Papanchikataya Buddha Hari Samandhi Vastana Momokhabi Paritaga Boirang Palgu Pathate.
Very good, Prabhuji. Yes,
It means
Prabhuji.
that when person eager to achieve liberation renounce everything related to the supreme positive of Godhead, thinking them to be material. Their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is incomplete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord, and no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that actually nothing belongs to anyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Then, what is the question of renunciation?
Yes.
The Srila
Thank you.
Prabhupada
Then,
actually this mention in the Bhakti Sundar to prove that we are trying to be renunciated from work, but it is not easy, or it is not actually our should be work. One should one who follows, who knows that everything is Krishna property, is always situated in renunciation. Since everything
yes,
belongs to
yes.
Krishna, everything should be imported in service of Krishna. The perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi or a Mayavadi school.
Thank you,
That
Prabhuji.
is
Yeah,
the
that's right. Yeah.
conclusion of the
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. We'll take more points from the other groups as well. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Please continue, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare
We come
Krishna.
first group. So, from this sloka, what I understand is people are mad of sense gratification. That the fruitive act, like seeking sense gratification, is cause of material bondage. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at improving the status of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmitigate our two different types of bodies. So, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be failure as long as he makes no inquiry about his ideal identity, his real identity.
Very good, Mataji. Yes.
Action in Krishna consciousness is not, however, action on the fruity platform. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthens one's advancement in real knowledge, Mataji. As long as heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruity platform. But action in Krishna consciousness automatically helps one escape the results of fruitive action, so that one need not descend to the material platform. And from last
Yeah.
text, renunciation, difference between complete renunciation and no, that is, renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything is existence belongs to the Lord, and that no one
And
should
what is
claim.
that renunciation known as, Mataji? When we are
Uh,
saying renunciation is complete, when it is in knowledge that everything belongs to the Lord, so that is known as
Yukta Vairagya.
Yukta Vairagya. Yes.
Right.
Very good. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji. Please continue.
Knowledge that everything existing belongs to the Lord, and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that
Very
factually, if
good.
nothing belongs to anyone, then where is the question of renunciation? One who knows
Yeah.
that
Thank you,
everything
Mataji.
as property is always situated in renunciation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
And
Krishna.
one more
Yeah.
point I want to mention. This perform
Okay. Yes, please.
perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
And
Hare
that is
Krishna.
known as Falgu Vairagya. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Krishna Kumar Prabhuji. Yes, please. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You're not audible, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Just
Yes,
now
Prabhuji.
I think Jivan Prabhu and Mataji had completed all that. But just to add a few things,
Yes,
I
please.
just went into a slight detail of here what Krishna is trying to explain here is the importance of performing the duties with complete devotion without any distraction rather than renouncing. Because if you renounce without Krishna consciousness, there is always a chance to fall. That is number one point. Number 2 point is the sense of devotion and dedication can be attained by the Bhakti Yoga. Means, and we need to find a balance and a balance of their
It's getting disconnected.
balance of our action, Mataji. We'll have to integrate spirituality in our daily life. And when we look at Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the basic idea is the daily and periodic duties of Varnashrama and the impersonal aspect of Jnani. Obstructive portions of karma have to be addressed. This is what Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So how do we address this is by having a nice, that is true vairagya to overcome the hurdles, Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So this is what we see from here. Yeah, thank you, Hare Krishna. So we see from this particular verse that everything belongs to the Lord. So what is Yukta Vairagya? We have this understanding, everything belongs to the Lord. We don't have any proprietorship, right? Use it in the service of the Lord. And when we have seen, I mean, if we go through the verse itself, my screen is visible, right? Let me go to this. My screen, yeah. Yes. So please see this, the verse. My screen. Is my screen visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Visible, but
Okay.
you are on a different slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see this. But this is fine, no? Verse number 5.2 is visible
Yes,
now.
5.2 is.
Okay, thank you. So, see, from this piece, we have seen are both good for liberation. So, that is why initially the definition has been given, like what is the material bondage? And as we discussed, as long as a person is only looking for the material bodily comforts, he will never be happy. Because the purpose of this human life is to make the inquiries, right? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And that is why it is mentioned that what is our real identity? How are we going to know when we are going to inquire? So, if a person is really engaging himself in the sense gratification, how is it possible for the person to get out of it? He will ultimately be engaged in the material bondage because of his ignorance, and he will never be able to attain the transcendental knowledge. And he will never be able to inquire, also, right? So, he will not be able to make these even inquiries, inquiries about his real identity. And that is why it has been mentioned why jnana is really important. It is therefore just knowing the jnana, as we discussed, no, we have to also implement it. We have to put it into practice. So that is the realized knowledge. So the practical knowledge. So this is the difference in the theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge. That just knowing about it is not going to help us. We have to implement it in our lives. And that is why it is mentioned. It is not sufficient for liberation, but a person has to act in that status of the spirit soul. So we have to ultimately work. And how are we going to work? We know what is the status we have seen, right? What is the way? What is it is mentioned, right? What is the status of the spirit soul? Jivera Swarupai Krishnera Nityadasa, right? And we discussed just now in different ways how we can serve the Lord, which we are fulfilling the status of the spirit soul, isn't it? And that is known as Yukta Vairagya. And whereas there is a concept of Falgu Vairagya also, wherein we have seen the so-called sannyasis. What do? They show themselves as renounced externally, but internally they are only desiring for the material sense gratification. Isn't it? That is known as Falgu Vairagya. So there is a river known as a Falgu. It is in Gaya. So if you will see this river, it is basically there is kind of sand. It is full of sand, but when you will put your hand inside it, you will find water. So this is the reason why it is known as Falgu Vairagya. And such people, these sannyasis, they are always dry, They're because they are always engaged in their mental speculations, and so their renunciation is also dry. There is no rasa there. It is devoid of any kind of mellows. There is no rasa. So, as you have already cleared, as discussed, all of you have covered all the points that a person cannot claim proprietorship because nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to the everything is the property of the Lord. Isha Vasya Midam Sarvam Yat Kinchah Jagatyam Jagat. There are, this is a Sri Ishopanishad verse basically. Isha Vasya Midam Sarvam. Everything belongs to the Lord. We cannot claim the proprietorship to anything. So yeah, this is and this helps us to understand. I am not able to. Yeah. So we have seen this, right? We have seen this activity. So what is Yukta Vairagya? It is known, it is discussed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjatah Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyati. So we remember, right? Everybody, all of us, we know about the dictaphone being used by Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? Isn't it? We have seen that examples, right? We know that how Srila Prabhupada has used the dictaphone. So that is known as Yukta Vairagya. So the way we are using this laptop and carrying out our studies, we are going through studying the Shastra. So that is also Yukta Vairagya because Lord Krishna is in the center. So this is known as Yukta Vairagya. So a person who acts in Krishna consciousness under supreme direction is called Yukta, included, it is inclusive. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya, and this is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. This is a verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that everything has to be in relation with Krishna. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, and that is known as Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. We have also seen the Falgu Vairagya. What is the other name for the Falgu Vairagya? Or okay, which is the kind of an animal which does Falgu Vairagya? Any example? Any example? Which is the animal? Monkey. Markat Vairagya. It is also known as Markat Vairagya. So monkey, what does he do? He looks to be renounced, right? But as soon as if you go near him, what he does is he's always looking to snatch something, right? Isn't it? So he is that is this Falgu Vairagya is Markat Vairagya. And one of the Goswamis, one of the Shad Goswamis, even one of the Shad Goswamis, he tried to do Falgu Vairagya initially. When he left everything, he renounced everything and he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, no, you don't have to do this. Please go home, you go back. You have certain responsibilities to be fulfilled. So who is that Goswami? Who did this initially?
Srila
Falgu
Raghunath Das
Vairagya.
Goswami.
Very
Raghunath
good,
Das.
Mataji. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami. Yeah. So we understand that this Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. And therefore, if the actions are performed and fruits are given to Krishna, then it is known as Yukta Vairagya. And thus, when we are situated in this kind of Vairagya, what will happen? Such activities will clear the mirror of the mind. Cheto Darpan Marjanam. And we will gradually progress in spiritual realization. A person completely surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore, please see this. It is mentioned that therefore, at the end, he becomes liberated. But this liberation is not supposed to say, okay, becoming one with the Brahman. No, it means he enters into the planet of the Supreme Lord, or he enters. And there he renders devotional service unto the Supreme Lord. So there are different five kinds of mukti that has been mentioned. Which are those? Please raise your hand. Which are the different five kinds of mukti? Please raise your hand. Yes, Jibon Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, please.
Shajuj, Sharupya, Shalokya, Shastri, Shamipya,
Yes,
another.
Prabhuji.
Uh,
Sayuje, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sashti. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's right.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Is my screen visible to everyone? Please read this.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Or not. That one is not this material body but spiritual soul is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of spirit soul.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, Falgu and Yukta Vairagya, right? We covered Jnana. We just saw, right? Just knowing about it is not completely sufficient. No, we understand, okay, we are not the body but the spirit soul. And we also understand Jivera Sarupai Krishnera Nityadasa, that our constitutional position is to be an eternal servant of Lord Shri Krishna, but we have to act in that way. We have to serve, render service unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and all his pure devotees. So one has to act in the status of the spirit soul. Yes, activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. And so this is mentioned, perform those activities, act, isn't it? Act in the status. And this will help us in advancing towards the real knowledge. Would someone like to read this, please? Yes,
Mataji, shall I?
Jipon Krishna Prabhuji. Mona Lisa Mataji, please read the next one, Mataji. Jipon Krishna Prabhuji, please read this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you
One
are
should
not audible.
understand. One should understand that actually nothing belongs to anyone. Then, here is the question of renunciation. One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadis.
Thank you, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we have seen how they try to do the Falgu Vairagya, right? They are always dry in their Vairagya, dry speculations. Their renunciation is also dry. It is devoid of any kind of mellows. So this we have seen. Yes, Mataji, please read this one.
One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. Purport 5.12. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is what we have seen. Like a person will be filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. Isn't it when he does Yukta Vairagya? We'll continue. This is from the 12th verse basically. We'll continue later. So we end up, we'll just wind up this session for today. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. I'll stop the